Alright guys, so we're going to do a little bit of a different video today. And how so is I kind of want to go over at least the foundational concepts of starting to escape from the bottom. So generally speaking, remember that we're always looking at, when we're trying to establish top control position, we are looking at our how are we connected to our opponent, where is our pressure, and how are we rooted into the ground. And the thing is, you can take any one of those three components and you can use that to start to establish your escape. So we're going to go through all the major positions that we've kind of gone over so far, and we're going to talk about the some basic ideas about how to begin to escape from those positions. So, and the reason why I'm not giving you like direct ones, again, because when you do start rolling, right, I kind of want to push the defense bottom side of everything till after we're out of quarantine and you actually start having a chance to roll with people and kind of experience these things for yourself. So, but I want to give you kind of the things to think about, and what I want you to do is I want you potentially to go back through at least the review videos and start thinking about where's the pressure, where's the connection, where am I rooted in the ground, and how might I begin to unravel that, right? So I'm here in this guard position, right? I am starting to do that knee cut. I'm trying to keep connected to my opponent by stapling his leg down to the ground. I reach for head control, right? And then whatever way I'm going to come in, maybe I'm blocking the hip, maybe I hit my hands over, I put two knees in, and then I get into this side control position. So when we're looking at that, right, I've just had my guard broken open and I'm in this defensive posture. So you see that my elbows are in. I'm not really going to start to extend them. They've pinned this leg down. So if I try to scoot away here, because that leg is, I'm connected to my opponent through this leg, I'm not going to be able to really start to shrimp away. So I think actually this might be a better angle. So they're cutting over this leg. The first thing that I need to kind of worry about is this is currently his connection, but he has to break that connection. So I might be kind of trying to stop that underhook. So he's trying to reach out. I'm worried about this potential hand. When he passes through, if he puts his arm up here, you know, once this is removed, I'm going to shrimp out, right? I'm trying to escape my hips. I'm trying to get away from him. So if I can stop him from getting that head control, and then as soon as I have the opportunity, I start to fishtail away using that shrimping, he's not going to be able to really establish that connection, right? So I get down on this position. So this is one of the first things I showed you is how do we shrimp. So I'm going to start backing my hips away. Now, if he didn't properly staple my leg or he's not blocking me, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually lift this leg up and start trying to get it between us, right? So the reason why I'm doing that is that I'm starting to stop him from being able to get on top of me by putting both my arms and my leg in the way. From there, I can start to work myself back to parallel and then get my leg out, and then I'm back in that closed guard, which is going to be much better for me, right? So I'm at that point already starting to block him from being able to take that initial connection, and because I'm shrimping away, he's not really able to establish pressure. You know, he's still rooted in the ground, right? But even so, like, if he has to chase me, if I'm being really effective about moving away, he's going to start extending himself, right? So his root is starting to get diminished as well. So in that moment, you know, you're getting your guard passed. That sucks. But you know, if you can stop him from getting any sort of control, that's how you're going to be able to escape, and that's going to be how you're going to be able to start to get back to a guard position, or maybe get up to a top control position yourself. So don't allow him to establish that initial connection. Don't let him put pressure on you, and don't let him get rooted, right? So that didn't work. So, and a lot of times it won't, right? Stopping somebody from passing your guard is, especially if they've gotten past your gate, is one of the hardest things in jiu-jitsu and submission wrestling is to kind of get, is trying to recover from that type of thing. So a lot of times when I get there, I'm trying to get my legs between them so I can get back into that guard position as fast as possible. Now, I'm in side control, right? So maybe he's blocking this side. Let's go ahead and start with that. So he's blocking this side. He's got his pressure into my jawline, and he's dropping down into my near side shoulder. I'm not going to really go over like, okay, his leg is straight, because it's really not that different. So things that I can do there, right? First of all, he's got my face turned this direction, right? He's coming down on me, and he wants to separate out these arms so he can get that Americana Kimura. Maybe he was going to go for an arm bar or cutting arm bar or choke or something like that. So he wants to get my arms separated. I'm not going to let that happen. I've got my elbows tucked in, and I'm very, very tight to my body here, so it's really hard to start to separate those elbows and start getting those arms away. I'm more concerned with my elbows than I am necessarily my hands. So if I'm in this position, certain things are going to keep me in this position. One is I'm flat on my back. That's what he wants. It's not what I want. So as much as I possibly can, if I can start to bridge in and push my hips out, you see now I'm on my side. So we talked about this early on, I think, that this, like when we were talking about the armbar triangle omoplata drill, when we did the solo guard drills, right? This is hard to move around, right? That's easy, right? So getting on your side is going to give you your mobility. And the reason why I'm in this position, you see that my knees are up. We haven't really talked about that much because we've been on the top position. But the reason why my knees are up is the same thing as a warm-up. I can't bridge, I can't shrimp if my legs are extended and flat on the mat. So I'm here so I can create that space by bridging into him, right? I don't really want to turn away because then he's going to start working to get to my back. So I don't necessarily want that. There are instances where I will do that, and we'll potentially talk about that here in a second. But for right now, right, I'm trying to get on my side as much as possible. But again, he's got that shoulder pressure, so I need to alleviate that. So one way that I can do that is I can take this hand and I can start to hook his head and then draw my elbow in, right? Now, you might already see the inherent flaw with this particular plan, right? He could start to drive that hand down, but for right now, I'm just kind of sucking in. I'm not going to stay here long, and so now I'm moving his shoulder pressure closer to my chest. That's just going to allow me to start to turn in and start to create that space. Now I'm no longer in risk for that Americana anymore, right? Because I've got my side, and I'm going to abandon that head relatively quickly. Maybe I'll put my hands down on his biceps or something like that, so they can't keep that head control. But again, the goal here is to just start to relieve that pressure. And once I get on my side, he's no longer doing what Higgin would refer to as crushing my orange, right? I've got an orange and I don't want to get juiced, and it's sitting right there on my chest. So by getting on my side, my orange is no longer getting crushed. So that's going to be kind of one of the big concepts when you're stuck in this side control position and somebody is kind of crushing down that one side. Now, things are a little bit different depending on where their hand is, right? So if his hand is blocking my hip, then I can't get this leg back in, right? Because he's blocking this leg from getting in. If his hand is on this side, right, I can start to turn in, bridge up, connect, drop back, and get that knee in, right? And we'll go over that in a little bit, in a couple weeks or probably, but it's there. The other way that I'm going to escape is if his hand is on this side, I might take this hand, once I've got that shoulder pressure relieved a little bit, I'm going to bring my elbow up, right? And I'm going to, like I'm answering a telephone here. Now, I'm going to use this hand, and I'm going to turn away from him, and I'm going to try to keep my arm and shoulder pressure against him nice and tight, right? I don't want to alleviate that pressure because then he'll be able to follow me. And then I can just walk around, sit up, and take his back into that kind of dogfight position, which is not the end goal that I want to get to, but it's a much better position than what I was just in, and I'm no longer getting crushed and not using up a bunch of energy. So from that side control position, you saw that we started working on alleviate that pressure, right? We're trying to break down that connection. And then there's that rooting in the floor, right? So when it comes to rooting the floor, him being rooted in the floor, what's I'm really wanting to do is I want to start to roll him over my body, right? But because if he's got that leg extended, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to try to roll him. I'm going to try to go for a different escape. And again, that leg extended will actually give me some advantages, some disadvantages, right? He's not going to be as mobile if that leg is extended versus both knees in. So, but let's just say that he's driving into me, or maybe he's not. Maybe he's just using that shoulder pressure, whatever. I might alleviate that a little bit, and I might start to really bridge into him, and I'm starting to really kind of push him away, which seems counterintuitive, but the thing is that he wants to reestablish that pressure, and if he comes back in and he's like really truly trying to get me flat back on my back, right, and I'm driving in, bridging into him, I can then use his energy to unroot him and get him over. Now, granted, a lot of times I roll with white belts, and this is their side control. You see that my butt is higher than my hips? I'm going to get rolled all day long, right, if I get my butt up. So that's why I have such a wide base, so I can sink my hips down so that my shoulders stay higher than my butt if I can help it. So that's going to be your side control position. Now,